Moving on, fast pace. We told you this was going to be a fast pace.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you for being here.
Sure.
It's cool to wrangle you, and you're a difficult person to wrangle with, so
Come
I'm
on.
so thankful. By the way, could everybody please notice the shoes?
Yeah.
I mean,
They're really comfy.
So if Eva is not in the office, which she is a lot, she's at Nordstrom, and especially during the anniversary sale, I've
That
never
is
seen
true. I don't
something-
miss an anniversary sale at Nordstrom.
It is
Ever.
It is a problem that we have in common.
Yes.
So thank you for being here.
Sure.
Okay, so you got the idea of the format, what we did with Bill.
Yeah.
What I want to talk to you about, I mean, first of all, guys, for those of you that don't know, one of, if not our top single individual producer in the company, Eva, is just flat out killing it. I mean, killing it. And yet, you do it in a somewhat unusual way. The thing that I want to talk to you about today is events. Because I love hearing about the events that you put on in order to connect with your clients. So tell me, if you would, how did you start? I mean, where did you begin? Because I'd imagine you didn't drop 40 grand in your first event, right? But how did you start? And then as you're talking through the events, I know that you certainly do your own high-level events now, but you're also aware of the things that we do as a company. So Rocky's game, concert in the park, right? Santa Claus event, the fall festival, all of these things. So tie in, if you would, going back to when you began. How would you start again? What's the value of the events? What's the impact on your business? Go.
Okay, so I think to start, this is not rehearsed, so I'm just thinking about like going back to when I first started in the business. I had young kids, and I started having like the end of the year school parties and invited a lot of people. So I would literally do it at my house, which I think people see that you're a real person when you do things at your house. So it was like in my yard, and I would do like an ice cream truck. It was not that expensive. I'd have everybody bring a bottle of wine, the adults. I'd have like, or an appetizer. So I kind of mixed it up, but every year I started with that, with the young kids, and that really started to grow, and people looked forward to it. But that's a huge way to kind of get involved if you have young kids, doing it at the school. I also started with doing the school magnet with the calendar, and that was a consistent thing. So there again, getting involved with the school if you're younger. Now as I'm a little bit more established, my kids are older, I do a shredded event. I don't really do the Remax Professionals things because I want it to be where it's Eva and not somebody else. Not to dismiss that, because I think what you guys do is awesome. But I do an Easter egg drop for young kids. Even though I don't have the young kids anymore, my kids are all grown, but I advertise and say, you know what, I'm going to drop Easter eggs on your front porch or your front yard Easter morning, and I do about 100 houses, and people go crazy for it. So I advertise the heck out of it. Like I said, I do a shredded event that I sponsor. What else do I do? Oh my gosh, I do so many things that are, I do drop-bys, pop-bys.
What's your, you have one, is it your wine event that you still do? I mean, you do one big event.
I do a huge event, client party.
Is it still your home?
I started at my home, and no, I do it at an event now with a big band. But I did start at my home, where it only cost me maybe $5 grand.
Yeah.
You know, open bar, and people were back at my house and just really appreciate it. And then they're loyal to you. I mean, they know every year, like October to December, they're loyal. They're getting invited to this party. And I just had my recent one, and I had the In-N-Out burger truck come, and I'm telling you, I had more men text me saying, "Oh my God, that was the best party ever." Because they loved it. And the In-N-Out burger truck was not that expensive. It's worth it, but it's this huge semi-truck that pulls up. It was $2,500, I believe. And people went crazy for it. They were like, "You're the best thing since bottled milk." I mean, men literally who never, like my husband would never text somebody and say thank you. We're texting me saying, "Thank you so much, that was the best party."
That is
So
awesome.
just little things like that. Popeyes, people love gifts. I mean, drop by a gift. Like,
How often do you do Popeyes?
probably twice a year.
Yeah. So for you, the key is face-to-face communication, right? I want to connect with people face-to-face. However, you don't connect with everybody in your sphere at every one of your events. So talk a little bit about how do you take advantage of an event in order to connect with more people that are going to show up, you know what I mean? So what we talk about when you participate in the Fall Festival may not be the best example because you can actually invite 1,000 people right to the Fall Festival. But to events, even events that you have a limited capacity and you can have people, how do you take advantage of an event where you might bump into 50 people, but you have an opportunity to invite 150?
Yeah, I mean, not everybody's going to show up. Like, you know, there are people that are like, yeah, I don't drink, I don't have young kids, I don't want to do the Easter egg, I like little things like that. But when I don't connect with somebody personally, I drop off something. I drop off a gift, and it may not be crazy extravagant. It could be a $10 gift, but I drop off something with my card just saying, thinking of you. And it's huge. People just go crazy. People just, they're loyal to you. And I have people call me and they're like, we're so loyal to you. It's because people love a little something. It makes them feel special.
What is a little something? Give us
So like, I will just tell you, yesterday I just heard that 2 of my clients that I haven't seen in a while, each of them lost a parent. I went to Trader Joe's. Instead of spending, $200 on a flower bouquet, went to Trader Joe's, bought a bunch of flowers. I went to Michael's, bought the vases. I made the arrangements myself, and I dropped them off with a personal card. Both of them went crazy. They were like, oh my gosh, you made our day. You made us feel so special. Just little things like that are huge. Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Also for Valentine's Day, like right around Valentine's Day or St. Patty's Day, if I do an open house, I have a little goodie bag with my card in it, some candy, so people walk away with something. A notepad, but I make a little gift bag for people. I have like fun dip for kids. Parents sometimes like it, sometimes don't, but I always give something, and then
getting candy for my kids.
Fun dip candy, they go crazy. The kids go crazy, the parents are like, really? But they remember you for that. If you give something, they remember you. And that's what it's all about in marketing. It's the name recognition. So people always remember that and how you made them feel.
Yeah, that's awesome. Budget. Right now on your big event, right? I mean, on an event, if you have a blowout event, right? And this is, please keep in mind, guys, we're not talking for everybody. I'm curious, right? I want to hear what Eva's dropping on a big event. And then we'll talk about how can you have a similar impact using a much smaller budget to our events.
Have it at your house, it's cheap.
Yeah,
But for my big event with the big truck and the food truck and an open bar and the gifts I spent about $50 a gift.
Yeah,
so they're going home with a cutting board with my name on it, and a bottle of tequila and a lime, and I just try to be as creative as possible. But it's about $35,000, I think, is what I spent in December.
$35,000.
Band.
Yep. $35,000. What's your average purchase price? What's your average sales price?
Right. It's one deal. Yeah. It's about
It's one half.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, sure.
But I would say, give or take, it's 1 or 2 deals.
Yeah.
Depending on what the price is. But it cut all day long.
Okay,
and people want to be invited to your party when you make it awesome, right?
Exactly.
It's
You're
so
all
much
invited
fun.
to Eva's next party. Everybody's in. It's going to be amazing.
People say, oh my gosh, yeah, you have to use her. You're going to get invited to our party. I mean, it's insane. And I have the best time. I have so much fun.
Okay, so now, if you were starting out in the business today, if you went back and starting out, knowing the impact that your client events have had on your business, and your budget is now $35,000, what would you do? How would you start?
Well, if you don't start with a happy hour, if you don't drink, start with a coffee gathering. But start inviting people and building it like I did at my after school parties. And still to this day, people are like, I always remember your after school parties when the kids were young. Now they're 25. So start with some kind of something where you're getting people together. That is huge. Just whatever it is, like I said, whether it's a coffee, whether it's a prayer group, maybe it's a reading group, a book club, something. But just start by gathering people together, and then it's just going to grow.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
That is awesome. Other examples of parties as you're talking, where's Royer? I saw Royer earlier. Royer did a cornhole tournament, right, at your house. He had a bounce house. You had food. I know you always have tequila. which is just kind of your thing. I think you're the only one who drinks it, but still it's there. Royer, how much do you spend on the cornhole tournament? Zero, because you're sponsors? Because you get sponsors, zero.
But it's about 5,000.
But the cost, if you were to flip the whole bill, the cost is $5,000. How many people showed up?
About 100.
100 people showed up. So guys, get creative. Take advantage of the fact that you have relationships with these people, right? Your relationship isn't just about real estate. Your relationship is about your interests, connecting. I mean, Super Bowl parties, right? Order a bunch of people and invite a bunch of people over for the Super Bowl. I mean, start small, start realistic, and let it grow. And
Yeah, it's huge.
yeah, absolutely. Yes. Where are you going?
Have you, a big geographic farmer, obviously, have you incorporated any events with the schools? I know your kids are
Oh, yeah.
smaller. What have you done with the schools?
I mean, so there again is, I started with the magnet. That was like, I created that program. So everybody should do that if you have young kids in a school. Get a magnet with the calendar, put it out there. Just like, it's huge. Your face is on there, your phone number's on there. Anything that they needed help with, whether it was a school dance, whether it was, donating a book, like whatever it was, I would donate it. I would sponsor, like an ice cream truck at the school. I mean, just do something with the school and get your name in there if you have that. That's for the younger, and you can even still do it if you don't have young kids. If you live in the community and you're marketing, get your name in the schools because people have loyalty to that. And I also added where I give back like $500 to the school for every sale. And then like I built a shed or I did this sports program. Like the principal would say, I need this. I'm like, all right, here's $4,000 because this is how much I made from these families. And you can spend that on whatever you want. Whiteboards. So, and people they're loyal with that. I mean, people get it and they know that you're giving back. They want to give to you. They want you to help them. It's huge.
Where's Becky McGee? Is Becky McGee here? She was here earlier. Okay, everybody know who Becky McGee is? She's Director of Marketing. She's in the DTC office. If you need support with invitations, social media slicks to invite people to your events, all the company events, Becky creates the invitations for company events. But if you need support in this, please reach out to Becky. Let her help you. What's that?
Graphic design.
Yeah, graphic design. We have graphic design designers on call that can help us with that stuff. So please let Becky help you with that sort of stuff. Big round of applause for Eva Stadelmaier.